Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today for a webinar on exploring international student recruitment opportunities in Vietnam. I'm Megan Crone, and I'm the Senior Marketing Manager at IDP Connect. Before we dive into the webinar, there are a couple of things to note. This webinar will be recorded, and a copy of the recording will be sent to all registrants tomorrow. The session will last approximately 20 minutes, and we'll have 10 minutes at the end of the session for a Q&A. So please use the Q&A tool at the bottom of your screen to ask questions throughout the webinar. Once you close this webinar, a survey will appear. Please do complete the survey if you have time, as this provides us with valuable feedback on how we can improve for future webinars. We will also be hosting our second webinar in our Driving Diversity for Your Institution series on February 16th, which will focus on the Philippines. Be sure to check your email in the coming days for an invite to the session. Again, thank you so much for joining us today for our first webinar in our Driving Diversity for Your Institution series, exploring international student recruitment opportunities in Vietnam. We started this series as diversification is such a key topic for institutions across the country. As you will see throughout this presentation, there's strong demand from Vietnamese students for Canada, but there's competition from other destination countries. During this session, Tu, who is the country destination manager for Canada at IDP Vietnam, and Sang, who is the country director at IDP Vietnam, will provide you with on-the-ground insights to help you build your institutional brand and work through both the opportunities and challenges of recruiting Vietnamese students. So from here, I will pass it over to the Vietnam team to dive into the presentation. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Tu. I am a country destination manager in Vietnam. Thank you for your time today. I will share with you the Vietnam overview, the Canada comparison with other popular destinations, the student key insights, and some of our opportunities and challenges, which lead to our recommendation for you if you want to attract more Vietnamese students to your schools. So first, I want to explain a little bit about Vietnam overview and what IDP is doing, so you would have a better context for my presentation. Currently, we have 165,000 Vietnamese students studying overseas, and 90% of them are self-funded. And the biggest destination for Vietnamese students are the US, Australia, and Canada. And about Vietnam, we opened 4 more physical offices in last October. So the total of the office in Vietnam now is 11 offices. And let's talk about the application. During the last 5 years, the number of applications grow very quickly year over year, especially in FY23. After the COVID pandemic, we are expecting to grow 46% compared to FY22, and that will be a very good rebound after the COVID. And now IDP Vietnam have 41 counselors working for US and Canada destination, and we continue to scale up our footprints by adding more offices and staff in the strategic location. In the part 2, I want to talk about the Canada competitive profile. And as you can see here, over the past 5 years, the top destination for Vietnamese students is always the US, and the second one is Canada, and the third one is Australia. And however, during the COVID, all of the destination has a big drop, and the fastest rebound destination are the US and Australia. We could see here that the Canada continued to decline because of the visa policy change and the slow visa processing times. Next, this is a research from IDP Connect, and when we ask students, which countries did you consider or are you considering in 2022, there are 72% of students said Australia, and Canada is in the second place with 38%, and the US and UK are in the third place. The second question we asked the student was, why did you choose your first destination? And the top reason to choose Canada as a destination are a welcoming country, safe for students, good employment opportunities, and high quality for education. And about the Vietnamese student perception Canada, they think that Canada is a leader in post-study work visa policy and the employment and the graduate employment opportunities in And in the part 3, we are going to a little deeper in student insights and their motivation to understand their decision, the decision-making process. And this is our internal data from last year to 2022. For Canada, we have 69% of students from Ho Chi Minh City and 26 students from Hanoi. So Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City contributed 95% of students for IDP Vietnam, and the rest are from the other cities. And you can see in the screen, this is a student persona for IDP Vietnam inside. The student who choose to study in Canada, they said that I prefer an institution that can help me to get a job, readiness after graduation. So the quality of study work visa, and job opportunities are the most important for Vietnamese students that decided to study in Canada. And in part 4, this is our insight to the opportunities and challenges and our recommendation for you if you want to attract more Vietnamese students to your schools. So we have a lot of opportunities here. The Vietnam overseas study demand bounced back very fast after COVID, while Canada is attractive with postgraduate work and immigration policy. The Consulate General of Canada engage and support IDP Vietnam a lot, and I will share with you about this in the next slides. And location institution open for international cooperation. However, we still have a lot of challenges with long visa processing time, and this is the biggest challenge for us to recruit students to Canada. And the second one is a long application processing time of many universities and colleges. And the third one is some of other destinations also have a very good post-study work and immigration policies like Australia, and the one-year masters in the UK with 2-year post-study work visa. And because of the COVID, we have a lot of competitors in Vietnam when students decide to choose to study in Vietnam at the local universities and international university that they have campuses in Vietnam. And now we have some recommendations for you. The first thing, we need you to improve your application processing times and flexible credit exemption process. and offer scholarship if you can, and join our IDP Fast Lane. And in terms of branding, please connect IDP with your alumni network, provide us with more marketing materials, and do more branding activities. In terms of how best you could do for IDP Vietnam, please provide us more training with IDP counselor, the deep training and practice, participate in IDP event and the roadshow. Regarding to the training, the deep training I have mentioned, I mean that I know that some of your university, many of your university and colleges are very popular in Canada, but for Vietnamese parents and students, they need to learn more, and you know, and even our counselor, and you know that Vietnam is not an English-speaking country. So the first thing that I would like to recommend that if you are training for our counselor, please slow down your speech. So it would be getting our counselor easier to understand you, and also make friends with our counselor first, to make our counselor confident about you, about your school. And then if your location are not in the popular place, so please talk about the location, the weather, because you know that in Vietnam, our lifestyle quite different. We don't have the winter with snow. We don't have the path under the ground to go during the winter time, and our public transport are very terrible and take a lot of time. So our city are very small. So the distance from this city to other city is very short compared with Canada. So please explain for our counselor all about that, to make them understand about the lifestyle, how to travel, how to go to the market, and also about your culture, whatever, to make them like to be very understand about your location, and about your co-op or the service. So please also tell our counselor very careful, very in detail, because they know the term of the co-op, they know the term of the career support, but they need to know in detail what is that, so they can share with the parent and student about all your stories. That is some of my example about the training for our counselor. So I would like to share with you about the roadshow in 2023 in March, July, and September. We plan to organize in 6 cities: Hanoi, Hải Phòng, Da Nang, Nha Trang, Cần Thơ, and Ho Chi Minh cities. And in the right-hand side, you can see our physical exhibition in October 2022. This is the first physical fair after the COVID. And this event was very crowded and successful. We had the Consulate General of Canada attend to have a booth, and also give parents and students a seminar about the study permit. And for our roadshow in March next month, we also have the Consulate General of Canada to attend us. Now I want to share with you about IDP Summit, Education Summit. Last year we started with season 1 in 1 day, with more than 10 sessions, more than 25 speakers, and 500 participants. Now we are going to run season 2 in August of this year, and we will do it online. The purpose of this event is to provide the future of international education and position IDPs as a top leader. Okay, and in the end, I am going to invite you to see a video about one of our students sharing that why he decided to study in Canada.
Though there are various reasons for why I chose to pursue studying in Canada, but there are two that are very prominent to me. The first one is that Canada has very high quality educational programs, and the second reason is that it has outstanding job opportunities. The third one is my personal reason, which is I've participated in a summer camp in Canada that was hosted in Canada when I was in 8th or 9th grade, and since I grew to enjoy the environment there, both socially and educationally, I chose to pursue study in Canada.
Okay, so that's it. Thank you. And anyone have any question?
Perfect. Excellent. Thank you so much, too, for taking the time to present those valuable insights. So we'll begin the Q&A portion of the webinar now. And Sang, who is the country director for IDP Vietnam, will also be joining us for this portion of the webinar. So if you haven't already, please drop any questions into the chat or Q&A feature, and we'll get started here. So let me just take a look at the questions that have come in. There's been quite a few, so thank you so much. So first question, and I'll direct this one to Sang. Are the growth numbers for IDP Connect applications or all applications by Vietnamese students to Canada? So I believe this was on one of the earlier slides that Tu showed in her presentation.
Thank you for the question. These applications are from IDP to our client institutions.
Okay, great, thank you. Okay, another question here. Can we get a sense of the Vietnamese students' preferences demand broken down by university and college sector in Canada?
We don't have the specific the name of university or colleges, but we have the percentage of the Vietnamese students are applying into universities or college sectors. So we have in the college so from IDP we have majority of our students are coming from, like, 39% of students are doing business and management in FY 2021. Then mainly they come from the colleges.
Perfect. Okay, thank you, Sang. Any insights on students' preferences for universities versus colleges? Maybe Tu, you would have some insights on that. So any preferences on students, any insights on students' preferences for universities versus colleges? Do you see any difference there?
Yeah, I would answer this question. For students, when they choose universities or colleges, it will depend on their budgets and also their career propose. So, for example, some student they want to get the 4 years of degree to go back. Also, looking for the opportunity to work and migrate in Canada, and also they can go back to Vietnam anytime if they want. And in Vietnam, people like the student to have the bachelor degree, so it will be the safe option for students. However, many students are very confident with their choice. They believe that they can get the job after 2 years of study, so they will choose to study in college. And the most important is their money. If they have a lot of money, so they have more choice. And also, it means that I think that it's very great question, because I think that 90% of students asking us about this question. So we don't give the advice, you should go to college or you should go to university. So we always give the student the full picture and the full information about the college and university, and the student will find what is the most suitable with them. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for your insights on that. Are you able to share the areas of study that are in high demand or interest for Vietnamese students?
Sorry, could you repeat the question? The question.
Yeah. So can you please share the areas of study that are in high demand or interest for Vietnamese students? So I know we touched on this a little bit, but
yeah,
just if you want to talk about that a little bit again too, that would be helpful.
Yeah, the most major student looking for is a business, and the second one is computer science, technology. Yes, as my number, the latest number.
Great.
And more information that I know that in business we have a lot of minor, so we have a lot of things to talk with students, and I believe that your college and university have offered students many of the program to have them.
Okay, great. So we have a visa question here. And two, I'm not sure if this would be best for you or Sang to answer, but interested in how students are applying. Are they applying through the SDS visa stream? And what is the current approximate turnaround time on SDS visas?
Now, about the processing time of SDS in Vietnam, that we see in the website is 9 weeks, but at that time, I mean that in the previous months it was about 9 weeks, but sometime at that time maybe 4 weeks, and we don't know, as our experience in the peak season, it may 9 weeks or 12 or 13 weeks. So my recommendation for all of our students submit the visa application as soon as possible as they can, right after they get the offer letter.
Okay, great, thank you. Okay, I'm just going through the other questions here. Have you noticed any trends in programs students are interested in applying to? For example, engineering, science, computer science, etc. So I know we've talked about the programs already, but are you seeing any trends, or there may be any new programs that students have been applying to recently that you've noticed, or anything like that?
Oh, sorry, I could not catch your idea about the choosing program. You mean that they want to for the new program in the science or technology?
Yeah, are there any trends? So maybe any different programs that you're seeing students apply to that maybe they didn't apply to in the past, or is it fairly is it fairly similar across the board?
Oh, okay. So thank you for that question. I think that is a very great question. The student are asking for the job opportunities. So the Vietnam market will grow. I think that they will grow in by about the program that Vietnamese student apply for. So it will depends on how your institution training and provide us the information. So for example, if you provide us the information about the program, which program will be have a good opportunity to get a job graduation. So I think that student will consider about that. Of course, I know that they will find the thing that with their ability, suited with hobbies, with their passion, and also they consider to the job, the demand of the job market. So I think that for that, so in the last year, I think that we had the growing of the supply chain management and for the business analytics.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, that makes sense. So we do have quite a few more questions here, but we are running up to the end of the webinar, and it is very late in Vietnam. It's 9:30 p.m. there, so I won't keep you much longer, but I want to say a huge thank you to our presenters again who are joining us from Vietnam late at night. Thank you so much for your insights into the Vietnamese market. As we can see from all the questions that are coming in, there's a big appetite for Canadian institutions, and we will try to follow up with those questions that we haven't responded to. So look out for emails from for us. And thanks again for everyone that attended the webinar today. Please look out for an email tomorrow that we'll send through on that it includes the recording as well as the slide deck. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great day.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.
Have a good day.